Good evening, YouTube. It's your guy Jay Cruz, and you posting another video here on January 2nd, 2023. And the first thing I want to say in the reaction to what you're seeing on my title screen is, how about them dogs? That saying is in reference to the college football team, the Georgia Bulldogs. If any of y'all watched that game this weekend, and the game I'm talking about occurred on Saturday evening. It's the what you call the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and it was a game that was part of the college playoff system in which the Georgia Bulldogs and both the Ohio State Buckeyes, which tend to be top programs every year. When I say top programs, at least top 10 ranked college football programs, they were competing against each other for a chance at the national title game, which will be played next week on January 9th, next Monday. Either way, if you watch this game, you had the pleasure of seeing one of the best college football games probably ever played. Um, Georgia really came in as the favorite from what I understood, uh, because they are the defending national champions, and so this game was played at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, Georgia. So Georgia sort of had like a home field advantage, so to speak, even though the college of the University of Georgia is in Athens, Georgia, about an hour and a half away from Atlanta. Uh, you still gonna have people in Georgia who gonna have first digs on seats, parties, different venues. So it basically was a home game for UGA. If you watch this game, you saw that Ohio State was ready for a stiffly competitive game. And what I mean by that is their quarterback C.J. Stroud, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and CJ threw for 348 yards and 4 TDs. And let me move this. My phone here just to the left, so you can see their stats. He's Ohio State starting quarterback, and Georgia's has had the reputation since their current coach Kirby Smart has been there as having one of the better defenses in college football. They've always had they've had that reputation over the past 6-7 years. Because that's what Kirby likes to build his team around, having a good defense and just having a steady offense where you can balance both the pass and the run. And but either way, C.J. Stroud make it seem like their pass defense was non-existent. I mean, he was outstanding. It seemed like for the most part that when Georgia was trying to pressure C.J. Stroud, they could not get to him and sack him, with the exception of maybe 3 or 4 occasions throughout this game. And Ohio State really controlled this game for the most part. They stayed up on Georgia, throughout the game, and by all intents and purposes, they should have won this game. But as you can see, as I'm trying to readjust uh, my phone here, is that didn't happen. That didn't happen. As you can see, Georgia won 42-41. As the fourth quarter went on, what happened is that UGA began to find a rhythm on offense that was missing during the third quarter, maybe the latter half of the second quarter, and they sort of regained control of this game. And with maybe, just up under a minute left, Ohio State got the ball back after Georgia scored his final touchdown. And keep in mind, Georgia only had a 1-point lead, so all Ohio State had to do was to get in the field goal range, kick a field goal, and win the game. Which is really what Ohio State almost did. They C.J. Stroud got out there and they drove maybe like 30, 40 yards up the field till they got in the field goal range. And the kicker for Ohio State kicked the ball, but he missed badly. I mean, when he kicked that ball, it was nowhere near being complete. Should I say, scoring inside the goal. It was badly missed. And it just looked real, real bad, man. It like he just wasn't ready for the moment. I mean, I don't know if this dude got scared or something like that. But it was not a good looking attempt at a field goal. He missed very badly. Either way, when he missed, uh, that was pretty much the end of the game, and Georgia wrapped up a hard fought win. But in my opinion, Ohio State should have won that game. That was a shame they didn't, because C.J. Stroud in particular and their receivers did everything they could to put this team in the win to win this football game. They put him in a position to win, and it was just sad they couldn't come up with a another way, or they couldn't come up with a win rather. It was just sad they couldn't do it because they deserve it. It was a hard fought game, and again, I just expected that kicker to be able to finish the game off. Also, another reason why I say that, because the kicker early in the game, he kicked the field goal that was basically like the same distance, and he didn't have too much of a problem with it. But all of a sudden, he found a way to find a problem with kicking the game winner. I don't know if the field goal, or excuse me, I don't know if the scenario was just too big for him or what, but he choked, man. He caused Ohio State to lose that football game. That was a dang shame, because they should have won that game. UGA's quarterback, Stetson Bennett, he played well for the most part. He threw one pick, and he made a few bad decisions out there, but it wasn't nothing that ultimately cost him the game. He threw for 398 yards and 3 TDs himself, and like I said, with one interception, and so he played relatively well. But, like I said, I'm a Georgia guy, and I'm happy to see the Dogs going to next week to face the TCU Horned Frogs, who defeated Michigan on the same day, to go compete for another national title. I'm gonna call this. I just think Ohio State was a better team than TCU, and I think Georgia's a better team than TCU. I think the national champion was gonna come out of this game, whether it was Ohio State or Georgia. Georgia has better athletes to me than TCU. TCU has, I think, a dynamic receiver by the name of I want to say his name is like something Robertson or something like that. He's like 6'4", 215, and he made some big plays in that game against Michigan. And the quarterback, Max Duggan, I think he's pretty good. But again, they haven't played a team like Georgia an entire year, and I think it's a different level of athlete they're going to be experiencing. And I think, given that they're not used to dealing with that all the time, I think that gives Georgia an advantage. And so that's why I'm calling it for Georgia right now. I think they have a distinct advantage in this game, but just having better athletes and being in more big game scenarios like this. So I think Georgia's going to win, 31-14. I'm going to go ahead and just call it right now. I think the Bulldogs are going to repeat as national champions. Again, congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs. This is J. Crew to you, signing off. If you like the video, hit the like button. You want to subscribe, please subscribe. Go Dogs.